Hi everyone, it's Kathy. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited to be participating in the Celebrate Video Hop and Giveaway sponsored by Whimsy Stamps. Each of us will be using the Celebrate Word and Shadow die and creating a lot of cute projects. I'll also be using the Sending Sunshine stamp set along with the coordinating dies and the stitched and pierced circles, the cross stitch background, and later on I bring in the Delightful Daisies background stamp as well. I'll talk more about the giveaway a little bit later on, but before I forget, the next person in the hop is linked in the description box below for you. So for my card, I started out with stamping my background. I have a piece of cardstock that's cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which I also cut that down a little bit later on as well. I randomly stamped the solid flower with some bright yellow ink, and then I chose some of the other flowers and used my VersaFine Onyx Black ink and just did very random stamping. The trick when you're doing backgrounds like this is you want to make sure that you do stamp off the edge of your cardstock. It just gives it a more organic look. Once I was done with stamping up the background, I brought in that cross-stitch background stamp and inked that up as well with the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I like to place my cardstock on top of the stamp and use a piece of scratch paper to rub over it to make sure I get a good impression. Then I ran that through with one of the stitched and pierced circle dies through my die cutting machine. Here's the Slimline Dainty Daisies background stamp, and I inked that up with a yellow ink, and then I used the same size circle die and I only cut half of it. I stamped my little bunny from the Sending Sunshine stamp set using Memento Tuxedo black ink onto a piece of Cougar Super Smooth cardstock because that's my favorite cardstock when I do Copic coloring. I did some very simple coloring on this little bunny, so while I do the coloring, I'll go over the hop with you. The hop goes from February 12th through February 14th, and to be entered to win a $25 gift certificate to the Whimsy Stamps shop, all you need to do is leave a comment on each of the videos in the hop. Again, the next video on the hop will be linked in my description box below for you, as well as all of the products that I used, including the Copic colors that I used for my coloring. Make sure that you leave your comment no later than February 14th at 11:59 p.m. The winner of the hop will be announced over on the Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel under the video for this particular hop. Make sure you head on over to the Whimsy Stamps channel to see if you're a winner on February 16th. To claim your prize, you will need to email Whimsy Stamps, and I'll have all of that information in the description box below for you, and that information will also be available over on the Whimsy Stamps channel. So for the coloring on the bunny, as you can see, I just did very, very simple coloring and added my darkest colors where I thought shadows would naturally be, and then just came in with my lighter colors to blend all of that out. Once I was done with the coloring of the bunny, I did run that through my die cutting machine with the coordinating die, and then it was time to put my card together. For the Celebrate Word and Shadow die, I did use all 3 layers, and I cut it out in the yellow, the black, and the white. To adhere them together, especially for the die cut word in yellow, I prefer to use liquid glue, even though liquid glue hates me. But I find it easier to adhere it with liquid glue because then I have a little bit of wiggle room. When I was adhering the delicate Celebrate Word die on top of the black shadow, I found it easiest to line up the letter B first and then kind of wiggle and jiggle the rest of the letters. I'd run my background panel through my die cutting machine with the wonky stitched rectangle dies and adhered that to a piece of black cardstock that was cut just slightly larger. It's about 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Next, I adhered the bunny to the half circle, and then of course I have to put a whole bunch of foam tape on the back side of him. I used my tape runner to adhere my cross stitch hearts circle to a black die cut circle that's just slightly larger. And then I adhered my bunny to the front of that, and I made sure to line up the circles just right on the bottom. I used my tape runner to adhere the bunny to the front of my card panel, and then I used liquid glue to adhere the die cut word Celebrate. Off camera, I had stamped and embossed the sentiment, "May all your wishes come true," from the Simple Sentiment stamp set and the coordinating die set. I used liquid glue just to adhere that underneath the word celebrate. And then I adhered that whole piece to the front of a top folding A2 size note card that I had created using yellow cardstock. To finish up my card, I used my glossy black Nuvo drops and just did a few drops here and there on the front. And that's it. That finishes up my card for today. Don't forget the link for the next stop in the hop is in the description box below for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed, I'd love it if you would. And don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.